also added a new idea to the website. It occurred to me as I was putting up the latest set of classes that we have a considerable amount of qigong classes recorded and posted up on the website. So what I thought I would do is to start going through them one at a time and edit out individual exercises. So like, for instance, the first one, sinking chi. I would just cut the longer video so that it'd be like an 8-minute segment on here's how you do sinking chi, and put that in a different location so that if you wanted to go look for a specific exercise, you'd be able to find just that clip, as opposed to going into a class and kind of scrolling along till you found what you want.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So if you have time, go take a look. I've put up the sinking chi, the clip from the very first Zoom class we did. You know, and give me any kind of feedback on it. Let me know if it, I've added some illustrations and I added some instructional text. Let me know how it reads. Let me know how the illustrations look. I appreciate any kind of feedback you'd offer.
And just a reminder again of the your name, what do we?
Oh, the website.
Yeah, the website. Wait, I'm sorry. Is it gentle?
GentleQigong.net. I'll make a sign. Put it right down there.
Now, are you also, if one turns to YouTube or Facebook, are you there?
I personally am on Facebook, and I have a Gentle Qigong page. I haven't done as much with that as I have with my website because I have more control over it. But, you know, send me emails as to which is your preference. Some of it's just a matter of conservation of time, where I spend my effort to develop something. But if enough of you are using Facebook and you prefer that, I'll certainly do what I can to build up what I've got there. But like I said, my first effort has been building up the website. But yeah, go take a look. I'd like some feedback. I tried my hand at drawing some illustrations, so be gentle. So, anyone new in the room? Any newbies? Okay, we're all old hands. Okay. Muting. I'm going to start with sinking chi. A minute, get this right. So take the first few moments to really just relax. This is one my teacher does with his class. He has them just kind of bounce a little bit, loosen up the body. Make sure the arms are loose, the shoulders, the torso, the legs, and then settle. Sinking chi, washing the internal organs. Make sure your breath is relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. For those of you very familiar with the movement, focus on the breathing. See how relaxed and low you can get the breath to go. So the gentleman I'm training with right now, his name is Henry McCann. He's a Tai Chi qigong instructor in New Jersey, also an acupuncturist. Trains nationally and internationally. And his teacher is a Master Wong. So came to us from China. And Master Wong does this sinking qi just a little bit differently. Let me show it to you. In his version, the hands rotate out and go out to the sides like you're gathering from all around you. And they come together over the head. And like you're pressing this fresh qi down through the head, through the torso, down the legs, and then down and out the bottom of the feet. So you're welcome to try it either way. Again, it's out to the sides, gathering, coalescing, down, washing out the stale, stagnant qi, turbid qi, down and out the bottom of the feet. So whether you enjoy gathering in front, the imagery is the same. Gathering out the sides. It's the same principle. So you can experiment and determine which one gives you the most sensation. And then closing. So the two new moves for today are pressing a ball and passing or dodging the ball. So the feet, bring 1 foot forward, hands like you're holding a ball underwater. Inhale, lift to the level of the heart, shift to the front foot, push out, fingers first. Press down, palms first. Slide to the rear foot. Inhale up. Weights on the front foot. Weights on the rear foot. Knees over toes. Not so far forward that your knee goes past your toes. Weight on the ball of the foot. So if you find that you're going all the way up on your toes, look too far. Bring back. Weight on the ball of the foot. As you inhale, bring the thumbs up along the sides of the torso, level of the heart. Out. Now to change to the other side. Draw in the rear foot, the front foot, excuse me, step out with the other. Inhale. Now you're on the other side. Reaching out, hands on a ball, pressing it underwater, holding it underwater. Reaching out, hands on a ball, pressing it underwater. Down. I've talked a couple of times about the 8 energies of Tai Chi. One of them being Pong, which is an expansive kind of energy. The other one is Lu. This is Lu, out, pushing aside. Something's coming in, I'm taking that, and I'm redirecting it past me. The third energy is Qi, C-H-I-H, which is this, penetrating forward, pushing aside. Penetrating forward, receiving, pushing aside. Then we're going to switch feet again and move on to move 9. Switch. Starts the same way. But this time, instead of going down, we push to the side. Slide back. Draw up. Face forward. Out. Push to the side. Slide back. Draw up. Face forward. So again, penetrating, receiving, parrying, push to the side, draw up, forward. Opening the hips. And do the other side. Draw in the front foot. Step out with the other. And here we go. Penetrating. Push to the side. Up. Slow it down. My hip is facing forward. My hip faces to the side. So this parry isn't so much this as it's this. Again, I turn my hips. So I don't rely on arm strength. One more. And draw the rear front foot up. Close it. Just one. Okay, so now we'll start at the beginning and hook them all together. Shoulders width. Opening move one, holding the barrels. So standing meditation. Relax, knees bent, hips unlocked, shoulders relaxed, fingers pointing at your belt line. Follow your breath, breathing in, aware that you're breathing in. Breathing out, aware that you're breathing out. Letting any bodily excitement just kind of settle down into the middle dantian, that space behind the belly button. Let it sink down to the soles of your feet. You can imagine standing like a verdant pine, a lively green pine tree. Roots going down from the bottom of your feet, yards into the earth. Rooted. Then, opening move number two, tracing the Tai Chi symbol. Curling the fish's tail. Waving high. Finishing the S. Shading the sun. Or shading the eyes, excuse me. Carrying a tray. Back to the beginning. Really rotate the hand, rotate the wrist. Gently, slowly. We'll just do 3 sets of this. Nicely done. Embracing the breath. Number 3, opening move 3. Hands like you're holding a ball underwater. Notice how each arm feels. Excellent. Moving on. Movement 1. Calming the Shen, calming the spirit, embracing or regulating the breath. Movement 2. Parting clouds, embracing the moon. Parting the clouds, embracing the moon. Remember those Tai Chi energies I spoke of? This is palm, expanding. This is Lu, embracing. Palm, Lu. This is also a gathering Qi move, parting the clouds, embracing fresh Qi from the heavens. Movement 3, sinking and lifting ball. Pardon. And we switch sides. We switch sides again and go on to the second part of this. Don't roll the hands. Now, the opposite hand lifts. Draw back the elbow. Scoop. Hold the ball. Split. Press. Draw back the elbow. Scoop the ball. Nice little move to know how to do. Switch sides. Draw back the elbow. Scoop, hold the ball. Split, press. Press down, press up. Press down, press up. Now we go to pushing up a mountain. Switch sides. Hands like you're getting ready to push. Step out, push out, and then up. Invite in. Straight forward, straight back. Weight on the rear foot. Weight on the front foot. Switch feet. Hands like you're getting ready to press. Out, up, just shoulders high. Into the heart, down to the middle tongue. One more. Then, cloud hands in horse stance. Draw the feet together. Hands up like you're holding a big tree. Step out. Widen the stance if you want. So your stance can be deep or shallow, whichever works best for you. Turn to the right. Hold the ball. Press up and down. Hold the tree. Turn to the left. Hold the ball. Press up and down. Hold the tree. Turn to the right. No need to hurry through the move. You can take it very slow. Now, from here, we're gonna do the stepping out on the other side. So first we reach out, draw in the left foot, hold the ball, press up and down, hold the big tree. Step out. Widen the stance if you want. Turn to the left. Now we're back into the same pattern. hips aren't rotating. I'm not moving my hips around. Hips are forward, and I'm just rotating my shoulders. All right, to move on to movement 6, the great pong spreads its wings. Reach out, draw the foot in, form a peak, height to the head. Hands go out, down to the belly, right over the belly button. Bend the knees, step out. Weight to the front foot, span. Weight to the rear foot, gather. So this is that pong energy, expansive. This is Lu, embracing. This one can be done in 2 different ways. This is the one way, moving forward and back. The second way, we keep the weight on the rear foot, we rise up a little bit, we sink down a little bit. Toes are down for balance. Draw on the front foot, step out with the other. Option 1. Bracing and gathering chi, the middle dantian. And the second option, up a little, down a little. Again, gathering chi. Movement 6, the great pong spreads its wings. Movement 7, the red dragon flexes its claw. Right hand on top. Right hand brushes down, left hand arcs back. We watch it. Shift the weight to the rear foot. Hands turn over. This hand's going to move forward like a dragon flexing its claw. And then draw it in. Roll it. Go to the front foot. Brush. I've modified this a little bit. I've reviewed the records, and it really is this hand coming all the way forward and then back. Chi energy. Lu. Hong. Chi. Lu. Hong. Chi. Lu. Then switch the feet. Weight on the front. Brush. Hong. Qi, Lu, Hong, Qi, Lu. One more. Slow it down. Drawing the front foot. Movement 8, dunking the ball. Qi, Lu. Penetrating energy. Embracing, dodging. And switching feet. Shoulders over hips. So when you're penetrating forward, don't lean, just shoulders over hips. Shoulders over hips. Last one. Switch feet. Number 9, dodging the ball. Dodging to the side. And switching feet. Here. And this parry is just enough to get things to the side. You don't have to go real far out, just enough to the side. Economy of movement. And just because we're doing so well, let's do the 10th movement. Switch feet. This is movement 10. Peacock spreads its tail. Hands at the belly button, palms together. Shift to the front foot. Peel back your fingers and then your palm. Spread. And as you shift to the rear foot, reverse the motion. Inhale, drawing back the fingers. Exhale. And switch the feet. Same movement. And draw back the front foot. Closing exercises. Closing number 1. Hands on the low back over the kidneys. Massage. Massage that low back all the way down to the hips. Warm up the kidneys. Warm up the low back. Closing movement number 2, tracing the belt line. So from hands on the belt line in the back, tracing around to the front. And there's a little bit of pressure, so you're pushing in on your body as you trace, like trying to squeeze toothpaste out of a tube. So a little sidebar on the belt meridian. Most of the other meridians run out, in, down, and up. This is the one that runs around. And it is thought of as the reservoir that supplies chi to all the other meridians. Closing movement number 3, massaging the middle dantian. So you start with small clockwise rotation. A little bit of pressure like you're kneading dough. Very gradually start to widen. A little further up, a little further down. You can come up above the lower ribs. Just under the heart. Down to the pubic bone. And then we can reverse the direction and slowly circle inward. Think of drawing energy back to the middle dantian. First part circles outward to spread it. Now we're concentrating. Back to that point behind the belly button. Closing. Very nice. So if you would unmute yourselves. I used to be able to do that, but they've changed the software. Any questions about that set so far? You're now 2/3 through. 1 through 10. And a lot of you have had you've had the whole form before I made some revisions, so some of this stuff should be very familiar. Peacock is nothing really new.
Kevin, this time I felt like a flow,
Yeah.
a rhythm. Whereas before it was just like today I'm experiencing it, that it's smooth. It's not, I can't explain. Am I explaining myself correctly?
You're doing fine. As the forms, this is a metaphorical way of talking about it. As the forms starts to get in you, and you've incorporated the patterns of movement, so you don't have to think about hands here, every
Right.
granular bit. The movement starts to become more rhythmic and flowing.
That's what I felt today.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was excited by the later translation is that this translation has included all the transitionary moves from one movement to the next.
Yeah.
In the original text, it was here's a movement, here's a movement, here's a movement. And it's like, okay, finish this, and then do that, and then finish that, and then do this. This one, once you get the whole thing, you can just roll right through it. It's a really graceful feeling. This is well worth memorizing. And like I was saying before, I can only describe how I learn these things, which is I become obsessed with a piece, and I'll practice that until I start to get that flowing experience. And it's like I can do it, my shoulders are relaxed, my breath is easy. It's like, yeah, okay, I got this. And then I hook it back up to the sequence, and I go through that until that whole feels like it goes from one thing to the next. And what I think is part of the mastery of Jiao Guri is he's done these movements in small pieces so that each individual movement isn't all that complicated. There are a couple that are more involved. Movement 3, movement 5, movement 7 are a bit more involved. Just take it slow. Once you get the movement in you, it just flows. And the more relaxed your body gets, the more that circulation goes out the limbs, in from the limbs, down to the feet, up from the feet. That's the good stuff. Excellent, Kathy, excellent. What else?
Thinking.
Oh, you're practicing. You're beginning to experience the fruits of practice.
I have a question, Kevin, and a comment.
Yep.
The comment is it was helpful for me to know that you hold the shoulders over the hips. And it was perfect timing because I was feeling I was overreaching.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is my second class with you. And it's a very long time since I did qigong. The question is, you talked about the latest translation. Is that the translation of a particular book or what you're doing with respect to editing?
No, I've been, over the past 5 years, I've been working with a translator. I've been finding, you know, I feel so old when I say this, old qigong books that were published in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yes.
The years of my youth, and translating them into English. And what I'm finding are these marvelous little exercises and forms that, you know, have found their way onto the shelves of university libraries.
Oh, yes.
And you know, they would disappear
Yes.
because the master passed on. There was a lot of disruption as the Chinese government supported and then suppressed qigong. And so what I'm trying to do is to bring these things, breathe life back into them and make them available again, because I think they're delightful little exercise sets.
Thank you. Yes.
This particular set, I first came across it in this 1964 text by Zhao Guri, translated by the People's Republic of China. And it had this 15 Tai Chi movements in there, and they're just delightful. But the problem I found with the official Chinese translation, they tend to sweep aside the internal practices. They focus on them just as external practices. Moving the body, breathing. The visualizations that go on, the sense of energy and gathering, bringing in, gone. This latest book is a 1991 text by Zhao Guri, which was printed while he was in Germany, outside of the influence of the Communist Party. And all of his material is fresh in there. And so the gentleman I work with that's doing the translating, you know, all the juiciness of the techniques is there. And so I've been revising the exercises and bringing them to class. So yeah, it's very nice. So you should you may possibly recognize some of the movements because they're meant to be Tai Chi movements. Now, which system of Tai Chi is it? Is it Chen, Yang, Sun, Wu? I don't have that to know where his influence is coming from. Is that helpful?
Very. And in doing this form with you, I'm very aware of the electromagnetic energy. And when you say gathering, you know, I'm going, oh, yes, I get that. I understand it. And not only that, I feel it. My movements, you know, the momentum and the intent I know is also important. But I appreciate the literal, you know, substance of it in particular ways.
Tai Chi is typically taught in Qigong is typically taught in 3 layers.
Okay.
First is the baseline, which is learn the physical movements.
Right.
Not a lot of talk about breathing, not a lot of talk about the sensing of qi in the environment or in self. Just learn the movements. The second layer fits on top of that, which is be aware of your breathing. Are you breathing low? Are you using as much of your lung capacity as you can? Add that layer in once the movements are there as a base. On top of that is what I'm calling the mental imagery part of it, the internal practice of what you think about while you're practicing the movements and breathing, gathering chi from the environment, you know, whatever kind of internal imagery works for you. When you think about gathering chi, bringing it in, imagine it penetrating, what would that look like, feel like, sound like to you as that goes on? To explore the imagery and discover what brand of imagery, what kind of imagery enlivens the practice for you the most robustly. And it's a very different way of thinking about a person's place in the world. This is different from, I'm a skin bag over here, separate from everything out there, because this layer of skin holds me inside and it outside. It's much more interactive. It's like air comes in, and at some point it changes from the air to me. And then as I exhale, it changes from me to back to the air. When I drink liquids, it starts out as the tea. And then I drink it, and at some point it becomes me. And you know, at a later time, when I get rid of the liquid, it becomes the pee. But it's an invitation to imagine being much more interactive with the world. You know what I mean? It's less isolated, more connected. And that's the part that the Chinese government brushes away.
Yes.
That we don't want to empower individuals. We'd like you to stay nice and passive. My previous teacher, the young gentleman named Matt Brennan, he teaches down in Frenchtown, New Jersey. He had the opportunity to go to China for a bit to study with some teachers, as well as he's an acupuncturist, so he picked up some more acupuncture. But he said that in the parks where qigong and tai chi is practiced, it used to be a quiet event. Like you could go and you could watch people silently doing their stuff. Now the government plays ballroom dancing music or disco music.
Oh,
Anything but a peaceful environment.
oh my God. And how?
Because they don't want this other stuff going on.
So they are very conscious about obliterating that.
Yeah. Because they had problems. I don't know if you've heard about the Falun Gong movement in China.
Sure.
That came out of qigong. It was qigong methods that were cultivated by a charismatic leader, and he created Falun Gong. And at one point, Falun Gong had more members, better organized than the Communist Party. Well, that scared the bejeebers out of them. There's a story, I don't know if it's an urban legend or, you know, part of the local mythology at this point, but there was a story that, I think this was before late 60s, early 70s, where a local city official made disparaging comments about the leader of the group. And the group took offense and mobilized its membership. And thousands of its members came and practiced Falun Gong silently around City Hall. So you've got to imagine, thousands of people standing around the building, not saying it, not protesting, not being destructive, just all moving together in unison. Scared the bejeebers out of them.
Yeah.
So some of what I'm trying to do is to take these methods and bring them back to the light of day and breathe some fresh light into it. So I'll be the first one to acknowledge that, we're getting my interpretations, but I feel safe with that because I'm using about 5 or 6 other practitioners to bounce ideas off of and make sure that I'm you know, well grounded in good technique.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks.
So in lieu of a guided meditation today, I want to practice this one breathing exercise from Master Hu Yao Zen. And Master Hu is often seen as the father of qigong, depending on whose line of historical fact you want to go by. And this technique is called gathering qi, and it's a breathing exercise. The Chinese name is Tu Na, T-U, another word, N-A. Looks like tuna, but it's Tu Na. And it's breathing out the stale, breathing in the fresh. So the physical part of this is very simple. You're sitting in a comfortable position, or you could be reclining. You're going to breathe in through your nose and breathe down as low as you can comfortably. If you can expand your belly as you do it, marvelous. If you're getting the lower ribs, marvelous. Just practice exploring how low you can get the breath. If you can feel the breath pushing on your low back or your hips, excellent. So it's breathing in through the nose, and imagine as you're breathing in, you're gathering fresh qi from the environment and the heavens around you. Comes in, down to the middle dantian. And a dantian is an energy center, so this is your battery. And as you exhale through pursed lips. And what you're blowing out is the stale qi, the stagnant or turbid qi, the dirty qi. Hey, you dirty rat, you. And so it has a lot of similarity to mindfulness of breathing, where you're just breathing in, aware that you're breathing in, breathing out, aware that you're breathing out. Your intention is a little bit more focused on breathing in qi from the world around you. Imagine it coming down and settling in this space behind the belly button. And as that comes in, it's displacing, it's pushing aside stale and stagnant qi, which you can exhale through pursed lips. So if you visualize, explore what kind of imagery makes it a more intense, a stronger imagery for you. If it's auditory, what are the sounds that intensify it? If it's kinesthetic, what are the feelings, the sensations that intensify it for you? So I'll just offer a couple of suggestions as this is going along. Sit, start the breathing. Breathing in, gathering qi. Breathing out through pursed lips, exhaling the stale and the turbid. Continue to practice. So as you're filling up that space behind the belly button with fresh, vigorous, glorious, healing qi, it's all right to imagine that qi beginning to go to the areas of your body that need healing. And that displaces the stale and stagnant qi that's part of the injury or illness, and you get rid of it through pursed lips, blowing it out. Breathing in, relaxing your body, relaxing your shoulders. Breathing out, stale qi. Breathe in robustly. Breathe out sparingly. As the qi fills your dantian, your abdomen, your torso. Also fill your arms and legs, stretching out the arms to the palms of the hands, stretching down the legs to the soles of the feet, filling the neck, the head. Sounds will come and go just like thoughts come and go, all the while breathing in, breathing out. If your mind drifts, with the next inhale, just come back to the breathing in of fresh qi. Breathing out stale qi. Just a few more minutes. Now, when you practice this, if you're just starting, do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, till you begin to feel the rhythm of this breath, this inhaling fresh qi, exhaling stale qi. Then gradually lengthen the time. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. And then when you're ready, just begin to take regular inhales and exhales in and out through the nose. Fill up, in case you got yourself very quiet and your breath got very small and still. Bring your awareness back to the world around you. Open your eyes when you're ready. For me, the thrust of these kind of meditation exercises, one is to build this idea in a gentle and focused way of breathing in fresh qi, breathing out stale qi. Practice it within the quietude of meditation, of the slowness, the stillness of meditation, so you can become very familiar with the sights, sounds, and sensations of this process. And then as you practice it, the long-term goal is that you become so familiar with how this feels and how this process moves that you begin to do it at other times during the day without really having to work on it. You're walking in the supermarket, and not that you have to stop everything and, go out, but you can be walking along, shopping, and still quiet yourself to a degree and imagine bringing in fresh qi and blowing out stale qi, so that it becomes a technique that becomes accessible to you throughout the day. So we practice it in this special case of sitting meditation or reclining to learn the process so it can sneak into the rest of your day and be available for when you need it. Because wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you're having a busy day and you just need a couple of minutes and you can go, and feel 50% refreshed?
Kevin,
Yeah, you had a question.
feel that when you have a mask on, you're breathing in the stale air that you just breathed out. That's how I feel about it.
There's so little stale air held in a mask, it is negligible. If you had a meter on your finger to measure your blood oxygen level, it wouldn't even make a tick in it. You wouldn't even see a downturn of any significant amount. That really isn't an issue. And the exhaling of stale chi, it's not so much that your breath is going out, is as you're releasing stale chi out of you. Hu Yazen makes a real distinction between respiratory breathing and dantian breathing, or qi breathing. They're two separate things. We tend to teach it in the same, like they happen side by side. Like as you're inhaling, you're bringing in qi. As you're exhaling, you're bringing out qi. But as you get the hang of this, your breathing can go off in one direction, and taking qi in and releasing stale qi can go off in another direction. So a mask, yeah, not an issue. And, you know, excuse my terseness, but wear a mask. Wear a mask to protect other people.
Absolutely.
Okay? Yeah, I've got a mask coming. I've ordered it. It has on the front, Fauci fan. Yeah. If we want to get a handle on this pandemic, we've just got to get over all this BS about masks and just wear them. Because if you're really upset about wearing a mask, let me tell you, a ventilator is going to be a real trip.
That's right.
So wear the mask, lesser of any evils. Anyway, off my soapbox. Practice, practice, practice. Let's finish with qigong massage. This is the way, if you've done a meditation and you've got yourself so quiet that you feel a little lethargy, a little sullenness or slothenness, you want to brighten up so that when you go out and drive, you're not a risk. Qigong massage starts, we brush down the outside of the arm 4 or 5 times, and then flip the hand over and brush it. And then we do the other side. What are we doing? We're brushing meridians, we're moving blood, we're moving lymph. From however high you can reach up your back, down to your hips, brushing down. Brushing over the kidneys, the Ming Men, from the hips down to the knees on the outside of the legs. Let me adjust this so you can see what I'm doing. From the knees down to the ankles on the outside of the leg, or however far you can reach comfortably. You can also do this sitting. Top of the feet, head. Top, wave at your feet. Ankles to knees on the inside of the leg. Knees to hips, inside of the leg. Lower abdomen to the ribs, coming up. On the sternum, up with your fingertips, and under the collarbone. That's number one. The second one is squeezing. We squeeze the muscles. Same pattern, down the outside of the arm, up the inside. Squeezing like kneading bread. Up the inside. Squeezing those big back muscles. the hips, the glutes, fascia lata, down, top of the feet, inside, lower abdomen, fingertips on the sternum and under the collarbone. Third, rubbing. Take time. Moving blood, moving lymph, moving chi. An old saying, wherever chi goes, the blood will follow. Fingertips on the sternum, under the collarbone. Last but not least, knocking. So the hand is rolled like a loose fist, and we're just tapping. Over muscles, down the arm on the outside, up the arm on the inside. On the back, gently over the kidneys, firm on the low back. Down the sides of the legs. Up the inside. On the abdomen, fingertips on the sternum, under the collarbone. And closing. Quieting down, settling down. There you go. Any other questions, comments, or ideas for the good of the order? I've been making some changes to the website for those of you who might find that interesting. It occurred to me last weekend that we have recorded a tremendous amount of qigong classes. It's 4 months, twice a week. And so I thought, and if I mentioned this already, forgive me, I thought what I would do is begin to pull out individual exercises and put them on a separate page. Yeah, I did mention this earlier. So that if you want to find out an exercise, you can go look at it without having to scroll through a whole hour-and-a-half class. And the one that's up there right now is Sinking Chi, Washing the Internal Organs. The page has a description of the exercise, a little bit of history, some illustrations that I worked on, and about an 8-minute video from our very first class. So take a look at it. Let me know what you think. Any ideas to improve the process, I welcome. And I'll be kind of working my way through probably some of the warm-up exercises first, and then I'll start plucking out movements from the 15 Tai Chi series and start building it that way. So, any other questions?
Kevin, do you have all this new material under other on your website? It's under other. Okay.
Yeah. Under other, it's a drop-down list will show up. There's one menu choice that will be, you know, individual exercises from classes, something like that. And then below that is class recordings. And then when you put your mouse over it, your cursor over it, it'll pop out and you'll see March classes, April classes, May,
Right.
June, you know.
Right. Okay.
So you can then go in and just look at a month, because at one point the length of the page was getting to be stellar. and I thought I'd break it down by month. But yeah, take a look, give me some feedback, some ideas. I'm still a little bit in time management mode. We're doing renovation to my house to prepare my basement for my wife's piano. She's moving her piano studio into our basement. So that work goes on for a while, yes. But the nice thing is once that's done, I can use that space to do classes. And it's a very nice open space in the basement, not in the middle of my living room. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wonderful class.
Learning and practicing together. Just keep in mind, even that we're virtually in different places, when we practice together, we help each other. And be well.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, Barb.
Hi, Linda.
I'm outside on the deck enjoying the fresh air and the shade so far. I walked early before it was too hot. It's a gorgeous day, but going to be 90.
I walked a lot yesterday because I hate this heat, but I think I'm going to try to go out really early tomorrow.